Hi, I'm Monica Cesarato, a food and travel blogger in Venice. Welcome to Venice Meets, a series of live chats from Instagram every day at 6 p.m. CET. Today, I will be talking to Kathy McCabe, host and executive producer of the award-winning travel series Dream of Italy.
Hi!
I am so happy. You look good.
I put some makeup on. I look pretty bad, but and the eyebrows and the roots and the whole thing, we got to take care of when this is all over.
Most important thing, too. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. I can't complain, right? Well, there's lots of people who have it a lot worse.
Exactly.
In so many ways. So I'm staying healthy and working, which I love to work. That's what I do.
Number 2. How's your little doggy?
Oh my God, he's here. Wait, he's
there he is.
He's here. Finny. He's living a very good life because I'm with him like 24/7.
Okay.
And he's very happy. So he's got a little bed out here on the balcony and he can sit in the sun. So he's doing very well. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, and I can see it's nice and sunny in Denver too.
It is. Today it's a little chilly. So it's been like Fahrenheit 70s. Today's like 50s. And then this weekend on Easter, it's going to snow.
You serious?
Yeah, it's a really rare. It doesn't do that very often, but it can do that in April. Yeah, but in Denver, the one thing, since we did, we're doing like Venice, Denver has 300 days of sunshine a year. So it's very bright and the skies are very blue. And so it's a very happy place.
I can see from where you got something glare on.
Just the sun. And so I love that about Denver. But of course, my other place is Italy.
Yes, and you're okay. So yes, I know you want to talk about Italy. I can see. Okay, first of all, I mean, your followers obviously they all know who you are. Most of my followers know who you are, but since I'm gonna be putting this on YouTube eventually, can you tell the world who you are? So
I don't
have words to this. It's you're so. So go.
So I brought one out here for 17 years. Like when I was a child, I started Dream of Italy, which is a membership publication. We have published 170 issues. So if you want to know what I've been doing for the last 17 years, that's what I've been doing. And then 5 years ago, we turned it into a PBS television series, which is all about authentic places to go, people to meet, artisans, cooking, and we've done 2 seasons, a special, and we have a new special coming out that I've been working on. Yeah, and you can go to dreamofitaly.com to see like any of those. Oh, and I'll have to have you on the podcast. What I need to do is come to Venice and do that. But I started a podcast. And actually this week I'm announcing we're going to do like a crowdsourced issue and a podcast where people can write, anyone, like Italians, professionals, not professional writers, they can write about the places they dream of. And then on the podcast, if they don't want to write, they can call in and leave a little soundbite about the places they're dreaming of. So I'll send you a link to that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And how did it all start? Because 17 years. Sorry, I'm switching off my computer, otherwise it goes beeping every 2 seconds. How did this love for Italy start, and how did Dream Italy start then?
It's very funny. I think you know Susan Van Allen.
Yes.
Who wrote, right. In one of her books, she said, "My love for Italy started at a dining room table in Newark, New Jersey." And man, I couldn't have said that better. My love for Italy started probably in the family room of my grandparents' house in Springfield, New Jersey. So my grandparents were of Italian descent. It was actually their parents who were the immigrants, but they embodied so much of what makes Italy amazing. They had a huge garden, and they would cook every day. And they were my daycare, so I went there every day. And I'm the only child, and then eventually the dog would come with me. So me and the dog in the daycare, who was a fox terrier also. But they just were so warm and spoke so much about their parents and stories. And when they knew some Italian, so when they didn't want me to know what they were talking about, they would speak Italian.
Wow.
And You know, when I was in high school, this really goes really way back. I did, as a special project, a biography of my grandfather, and some relatives sent me the translated birth certificates of our ancestors from this little town called Castelvetere.
Oh, yes.
And my grandfather actually had tried to get to this town and had this really weird, tragic thing happen. Very long story. You have to, so that we did, I actually eventually fast forward. My parents have both passed away now, but 3 years ago we went back to Castelvetere and filmed with them. So you can hear the whole, can hear the whole, like there's a really, really crazy long story that should actually be a movie about this. So actually, right after college, my mom and I went to Italy for the first time and went to find this town. And I fell in love with Italy, and I worked in journalism. I worked at ABC News and USA Today, and but I would go to Italy on all of my vacations. So I realized that there was this hunger for Italy, and that's how it all started. Kind of a long story, as fast as I could tell it.
Yeah. And then, and how did Dream of Italy came about then?
Oh, and then, yeah, so 17 years ago, while I was working at USA Today, I decided to start my own publication to do this for Italy because, and I still believe this will be true forever, that Italy is a place people go back to more than any other place, that they just get it in their blood, their heart, and you don't have to be Italian. And, you know, you go, you might go on your honeymoon and then take your kids back 7 years later and then take your grandkids and then, you know, it's just addictive.
Yes, it is.
So there is this common joy that we share, and I think maybe now more than ever, because you know you don't know what you have till you can't have it, or can't have it, you know, for a little while, hopefully.
Yeah. And oh gosh, I had a question now. I was listening.
You sound like me.
Because I don't want to. No, you know why? Because I don't want to prepare any questions.
I don't like preparing either. I think that impromptu, and you're so vivacious and good like that. I think it adds something. You know, just I like to wing it when I do a lot of things like this.
Yeah, also because a lot of times, you know, the people that I'm talking to most of the time I know. But in any case, I always have questions. For me, it's a chat. It's not an interview. It is a chat.
Yeah.
And I like to say, and I remember no, it's just gone again. Oh my God. Then I'll ask you something else. Okay. The place in Italy, and don't say Venice because you have to, okay? Just honest to God. The place in Italy that you really, 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 really love.
Oh my God.
I'm not saying, I know you love you, but the one that really has a
so hard. You know, and I feel like this is a weird thing. I feel like it's changed over the years. Which is a weird thing. You know, I was really a Rome girl for a long time. I love Rome. I love Rome. I love Rome. Maybe I'm getting old. That's too much. Yeah. You know, in terms of cities, well, I love Venice in the winter. The winter.
Oh, you love Venice now. You would love Venice now.
Venice right now. But, you know, I've really spent a lot of time in the last few years in Florence. And I actually went, God, that would be 3 years ago. I did a few weeks in January. That was like
you're gone. Okay, yes, you're back.
Low power or something. I did a few weeks in January. You know, so actually any city in the winter in Italy is amazing. So I love Florence. I obviously love Castelvetere for so many reasons. This little town my family's from. You know, and I love Puglia too. I love the beaches and I love the variety. And I'm actually wearing this friend of mine, her mom gave me this ring, and it's from San Giovanni di Rotondo, where Padre Pio is not buried. He's on display, right? I haven't actually been, and it was blessed from him. So I love Puglia for lots of reasons. But, you know, there's still a few places I need to go. Friuli is like Friuli and the Marche are the two places I haven't been.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Friuli and Marche?
No. Oh, wow. I know. Isn't that strange? I keep going back to a lot of the same places. So I was actually planning this big trip to Friuli. Well, that maybe will happen later this week. This year.
One thing you have got to make sure that before you go to Friuli, you need to do a crash course on wine, as in how much much can you take? Because if Veneto people, we are big drinkers, Friuli, I think we're there. Okay, so make sure you bring yourself. Oh my God, because some of the best wines in Italy. And it's the Friuli, Venezia, Giulia. Oh my God.
No, I know. So, you know, that's on my list. I have tickets to come in July, but who knows? Who knows?
But, you know, Italy is not going anywhere.
No. They are changing. You know, I'm supposed to be going to Andrea Bocelli does the Teatro del Silenzio in his hometown, and I bought these tickets in like November. I have tried to go for like 4 different times in my life.
Oh wow!
Never was able to go. You know, he's singing on Sunday from this. I'm so excited about that. I think it's going to be very moving, actually. Very, very moving.
I really love your job because you get to meet amazing people. Okay. Who would you say was the guest, the person that you interviewed that actually had the most impact on you? In Italy, of course, or relating to Italy, of course.
You know, I did this special with Frances Mays.
I love the best.
And I just like her so much. I love her so much as a person. She's become a friend of mine. You know, I read that book 22 or 23 years ago. I remember in my... I remember my childhood. I remember my bedroom.
It had to happen today.
That? So,
yeah.
Okay, here we are. So I think meeting Frances, you know, I just really like her. I had read this book, you know, so many years ago. I had gone with my mom at least 20 years, maybe 20 years ago to Cortona, and we went to look at Bramasole. You know, we walked by the villa. And I think I love her, you know, I asked her a question a lot. Most of what I asked doesn't make it into the show, unfortunately. We need to do more with those extra things. But I'm like, did you feel like a pioneer? Because she really was one of the first modern, you know, people have been going forever. And definitely there was post-war a group of people who really, you know, in Paris and Florence. But she was one of these more modern, the first who really told her and Peter Mayle and France, who really told their story about moving and buying a house and renovating it. And and just like how crazy, I love when crazy things happen to people, like how crazy that the whole thing just exploded.
I know.
You know, and she's so nice, and I love her husband. And you know, the year before we filmed, she invited me to Bramasole and ended up taking a car, but I was going to take the train, and she's like, well, Ed will pick you up at the train station. I tell this story. I was like, Ed? Like, Ed was like, Ed's bigger than the Pope to me, you know? Ed from Pope, you know? I make Ed blush when I tell the story, but meeting Ed was like, Ed, you know, Ed, like in the book, and as a man, he's just such a gentleman, and he's the kind of guy, you know, they just are such a beautiful team in what they've done together.
Isn't it amazing when you get to meet somebody that's written a book that is like an autobiography, and then you get to meet actually the people in the book?
It is. And then it's like so weird to me, because now some people come up to me because they've seen me on TV, and I'm like, oh, hi. It's weird. You know, people that you don't know, but you know. And it's not weird in a bad way. It's weird in a beautiful,
it's just weird,
way.
Yeah, exactly. I know what feeling is. Happened to me with years ago. There was this American gentleman that wrote on the wake, on everything. He spent, Barry Frangipani, he spent sometimes here in Venice with his wife. And he wrote a book about the year that they spent in Venice. And I knew his wife from the book, a little bit on Facebook, but from the book. And it was really funny, because when I met her, it was like, Debbie, you're not liking the book. I haven't even read the book, she said. I refuse to read the book. Because I don't want to know what is written.
That is funny.
So, yeah, I love that. So, what were the plans? And obviously, we are only postponed for Dream of Italy for the next shows, episode, and visits to Italy and so on. What were you
I was going to take a vacation. This July trip was actually a vacation, and I don't go. I don't take a lot of vacations, and I was going with a friend in July, and I wasn't going to work. I was just going to hang out in Tuscany. So we'll see whether that happens or not. We have a special for PBS that's in the works, and was working my tail off. And so I'm not sure when it's going to air. The thing with it is it was looking like the end of the year that it would air, but the programmers in America, or the PBS programmers, would need to look at it in July. So I don't know how they're going to be feeling, you know, about Italy, or, I mean, I think there's going to be such a hunger towards the end of the year and beginning of next year. But it's, you know, it's coming. It's just what date will that come out?
How do you think, I'll be serious now, how do you think in general all of us happen is going to have an impact in traveling in general? In your opinion?
You know, I think we just took for granted the ease, and you know, and I travel a lot for my work, and I'm like, damn, so I just went through these years when my parents were really sick, and I was waiting to take a like real trip, real vacation, and now I'm like, oh man, that's not happening. And you know, I'm a little concerned it's going to be like you get your temperature taken when you get on the plane. I'm not sure how I feel about this. You may or may not need to show you have had the vaccine or you have the antibodies. Now, I don't know if it's going to go to this extreme, but you know, but I am telling you, so the last few weeks I do this, you know, the memberships for Dream of Italy have been coming in steadily. What I know for sure is there's a hunger, and people cannot wait to go back, and people will be coming back. But when, and it's like how hard, well, I was talking to Marzia from the Italian Tourist Board. I'm like, I want to be on the first trip back. Now, I'm a big risk taker. I would just go. I would go now. I mean, you know, I don't have kids, or I don't have those responsibilities, so I could take that risk, right? But I was telling her I just want to be on that first trip back, or I want to get back soon. So, you know, who knows? It could, we just don't know. It could return to much more like normal. We're sure not going to take for granted.
One thing, do we want it to go back to normal, as in normal mass tourism?
Well, that's a really good question.
Go back normal as it was maybe 20, 30 years ago?
Yeah. No, my friend Danielle was asking, like, is this the chance for Venice and Florence to go back to being normal places?
I don't know. I think that the will from all of the tourist people involved, from the hotels, restaurant, you know, the guides, you name it, we are all actually, we realized, we already knew something was wrong the last couple of years. Things we kept saying, we knew things were wrong anyway. We couldn't sustain something like that. Okay,
right.
I just hope that this cry that we keep telling, you know, the government, you know, the local authorities, that we do not want to go back to the way things were, but to try to learn from it. I hope they're going to listen, because so far I can only hear them say, yes, give us your proposals, but I don't know how much of that is only to keep us quiet, or is really, I don't think so. Somehow I'm very cynical about this thing. On my part, and I know all the other people that I know that work in tourism now, that we try to connect, work together, and working and stuff, we are trying to push as much as we can to tell people we do not want to go back to that situation. It got impossible. I got to the point where and trust me, I've been doing this 12 years, my food tours and my cooking lessons. My cooking lessons, I'm okay, but the food tours lately, I was actually pleased that I wasn't having many. because it got so unbearable for me to walk with my guests in Venice with so many other people. It just got to a point where I wasn't be able to be myself and to offer my guests the experience that I wanted because there were too many people around. Do you understand? And that's wrong.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, and I'm, you know, I've taken cruises in my life. I like to take cruises. That's not coming back right away.
Well, I just hope I hope it comes back, but in a nice way. I mean, do you remember 15, 20 years ago when cruise ships meant it was like a trip of a lifetime, the cruise ship was smaller, and they stayed longer? Do you remember? I think that's the kind of
yeah. So I think that maybe you're not going to have these mass numbers like we were having, you know, going into Venice or Livorno, or I think that oh, it's funny. My friend Danielle is on, and she was saying what a healing opportunity there is for nature too, and Venice and all over Italy and all over the world. It's really an amazing thing. And the pollution, even here in Denver, I took my dog over to the park, and you can see the mountains, and they can be super clear, but there was this one day they were so clear, and we get like some pollution around Denver because it's like down in this ozone, and it's just an amazing thing to see. So hopefully there will be some silver linings.
I hope so too. Because I think it would be such a huge mistake not to learn anything from these 2-3 months of, you know, total block of everything. You know. So what's the situation now in Denver? Because I know in America every state is doing different things from a lockdown.
We have locked, you know, so essential, you know, only essential businesses are open. It's a little more free than what you're going through, which I'm not sure how I feel about it. We might really probably need to truly lock down. But you can, for instance, my keyboard on my laptop went kaput. And I called, there's an electronics store, Best Buy, and they're doing, like, you can go and buy something and pick it up at the curb. So there's some businesses that are open. There's restaurants that are open for takeout. We have beautiful parks here. And one thing that was happening is too many people were going, you know, to the park. So I've been taking my dog, but we go like way around the perimeter. And then it's now suggested in Colorado that, I'll put my earpiece back in. I was just trying to charge this. I have so many. That's my next thing. I have all these technical difficulties I need to work out. Hold on.
That's why you're going around with technical people all the time.
So I was saying about Denver, you know, so now the governor has said you should wear some kind of mask, and I actually have a mask. But the other thing, and I don't even know if we're supposed to do this, I took my dog, and like for 45 minutes I drove to the base of the mountains here on Sunday. I didn't get out. I just drove around to look at beauty, just to remember like everything is still beautiful. We still have this, but the governor had actually also been cracking down. People are very outdoor focused in Colorado. They were going for an hour, you know, to the mountains to hike, and it's not a time for that, right? You're kind of just supposed to stay where you are.
Yes. I know it's hard, but I always try to see it that way. I say every day that whenever I feel like I'm, you know, closed in, I think of the people that don't have a garden, don't have countryside around, that are stuck in small little apartments, sometimes not even a view or anything. And I think, okay, I'm lucky and I should get my blessing for that. I'm with my children. And I know a lot of people don't have this opportunity. So that's, again, you know, I try to look at the positive things rather than, otherwise it's easy to get, you know, easily depressed. And, you know, that's what I was saying in the other chats. I always try to make once a day to call somebody on the phone that I know lives on his own or she lives on his own, just to make sure that they are okay. Because maybe for us it's only a little chat and not of non-importance, but from the person on the other side that's been all day long on his own, it makes a difference, you know.
Especially older people, I think, and you know, it's so isolating, and especially, gosh, you know, this project I was working on, or this special about Italy, was a lot about culture, the culture of Italy, and how it benefits us, or how, you know, we were talking about piazza life, and you know, all these guys, these older men, they're daily ladies too, yeah, but you know, they're you know, the guys who are sitting around, been doing this for, you know, these are the guys they knew since childhood. Really, this social structure and this way of socializing and connecting and community. And you know what, I'm so proud of Italy and Italians, because when this was first announced, I was like, oh God, they can't do this. They can't do this. They can't sit at home. They can't not go to the bar. I was like, oh, this is never going to work. And I'm so proud. I'm really proud that, you know, people have taken it seriously. And, you know, because Italians stick to their routines. And, but, you know, yeah, but it's worth it, right? In the end.
Well, yeah, because I think we already seen a change in between yesterday and today. Things, I mean, I just read it, but I knew it anyway. They said they're going to extend it for another couple of weeks. But to be honest with you, in our head, we all knew it's going to be middle of May. Okay, all you have to do is what happened in China, and then you know that's what needs to be done anyway. Okay, let's say generally speaking, I would say most of Italians are sticking to it. Obviously, it is easier to do it in a small village in a countryside than it is to do in a big city. I get that. But I was very impressed as well, but I didn't think we would pull it off. I'm really considering that we don't have enough police, because in Italy there isn't enough police, you know. There isn't, you know, they cut so much of our health system in the last few years, and they're doing such a great job. And I got to say, from the point of view of humanity, Italy has really shown is real.
You're gonna make me cry. I think it's amazing and beautiful, and I think it will really bring Italy together in the end again. And you know, it's that I think it was Helen Farrell, who's the editor of the Florentine. I'm going to credit her because she's the first person that I saw wrote this, and she called it the New Renaissance.
Ooh,
yes. So shout out to Helen. You know, we're friends on Facebook, and I saw her write that. And you know, with so many people doing what you're doing, your show here on Instagram, or people writing their recipes, or people doing cooking, or people painting, or people, you know, doing creative things. Or even, by the way, I got to be honest, like, I was being a creative person, and I would say the last week I've been sitting around. And I think we have to forgive ourselves for sitting around too.
You know, it's all grieving. Okay?
Yes.
Okay? And I think everybody copes in different ways. Like, for me, if I did that, I'll never come out of it. It was a choice between getting very busy or sitting on the sofa watching Netflix all day. I did that when I was sick 4 years ago for 6 months. And I still remember it, and I thought, no, I cannot go back to that, because I had a reason. I was stuck on a sofa, I couldn't move. You know, my back was completely gone. So that's the reason why I was doing it. I do not have a reason to do it now. So this chat started only as a joke between me and Marisa Convento, by the way.
Oh, I love Marisa. I have one of hers. I have a beautiful necklace from her, and she's in the Venice. So for people, you can go to YouTube and watch her. She's amazing.
Yeah, and she's my best friend. And every morning, the first message I send out in the morning is every morning. We've been doing this for 4 years now, through divorces, she
had a loss.
Yeah. No, she had 3. Not 1.
I had 2.
Okay,
life is crazy.
Yeah, and so we started this because, of course, as soon as they put us on lockdown, she stuck at home in Venice on her own. And it's true, we can speak to each other, whatever. For, oh, let's do it live on Instagram, as you know, so we get other friends that know us, to see each other. And it was so fun. And at the end of it,
it is fun.
I felt so, and I got to say, I got to be honest, I have to thank you, because I started doing this after seeing you and Judy with Francini doing it. And I took
yes, we had fun.
I know, and I thought, oh, I like that. I could do that with Marisa.
I gotta do one with her. She can talk. Judy can talk. Judy is just such a font of information. Judy's like my go-to person about anything in Italy.
And she just gives everything. She tells you things.
She's a very generous spirit, and so she's in the Florence episode. We went to a market together, and then I saw her this summer when we were filming with Sting. They do a little party, and she was there because I guess she had helped Dario butcher, cook for him at some point, or Joe the chef. She knows everybody, so I got to see her this summer, which was nice, unexpectedly. So yeah. So it'll just be good to. I think lots of people are doing creative things, and then I think it's okay to not do creative things too, to recharge, or both. Well, in a way, doing a little bit of both.
But think about it. You've been non-stop all this time. Now is the time.
My whole life. No, so since the TV show started, like 2014. So what's that? Like 5 years. And I like to be
2014 is 6 years now.
I had just everything thrown at me in life. The show, my parents were sick, and go. And I can go. But, this is sort of a blessing, too, to have to stop.
And the dog is happy.
The dog is very happy. And the thing is, he was so close to my dad. And, everything works out. Like, my dad just passed away a few months ago. And, like, if life was normal, I'd probably be flying off to Italy. And poor Finny, I mean, he'd be well taken care of, but maybe things, we're supposed to kind of pull back a little right now, or at least me personally, I'm feeling like, okay, just kind of take a break. And
taking a break doesn't mean slowing down, but you haven't really shut off, because you are active, you are on the internet, you're doing your Instagram.
Yes, I'm trying to do, I'm trying to keep a business going too. That's the thing, and I hire 2 businesses, a TV business and this publishing business. And, I actually employ a bunch of freelancers, and I was just looking at like the loans and things for yesterday for the government, and, they don't even cover, hiring freelance people. And anyway, that's a whole other story, but there's so many layers, right, for all of this. So many layers of things.
It's really interesting, because when Venice first shut down, because many people don't know, but Venice was one of the first cities in Italy. We actually went on lockdown about 4 or 5 days before the rest of Italy went in total, because of course one of the first centers of infection was a town 60 kilometers from Venice. We had the Venice Carnival, so they were very worried, so we went on lockdown first. Right. And it's very interesting, because the comment from the rest of Italy was, well, only the people in tourism will have a problem. It will only be the people that work in tourism. And we looked at each other, we thought, no, guys, it's going to be a ripple effect, because if the tourists don't come and the hotels close, everybody involved in the hotels will have a problem. And that doesn't mean just the people working. It will mean the suppliers. It will mean people fixing the fridges. It will mean, and slowly people realize that Italy is a country with 90% of its tourism. And all of a sudden, everybody was like, oh my God. And now they realize, but it's okay in a way if you work in tourism, like I do what I do. I'm not making any money, but at least I'm keeping, people are still seeing me. But if you're a manual worker, what do you do? What do you do?
No, and I'm worried about people just being able to eat, to afford food, to, you're seeing that in America, people lining up for food banks. That's what I'm saying about these loans. Like, it's for the employers to pay their workers so their workers can eat. And I saw an article in Italy, people lining up for food, really basic needs, really basic, scary stuff. So,
yes, yes.
So I pray a lot.
Well, you know, I just think we just, you know, I keep saying to myself, it's no point looking at the past. You're not going to go back and do what you were doing. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. Concentrate on now and do your best now. Try to, you know, try to go to bed at night and not to worry, because I keep thinking when I get sick and I have to go to hospital, and no, I can't go to hospital. I don't want to go to hospital. So I don't have to worry and be sick, you know. So, you know, so let's say, no, when we finally open again, which city will be the first one you're going to then?
God, wherever I can get a flight. You know, gosh, I don't know. I was, you know, I had this trip planned for Tuscany, and I'd love to get to Tuscany. You know, I'd really like to get back to Torino. I haven't been in years, and I'd love to do an episode there. I don't know that been up. Someone said Palermo. And someone asked if we think it will open up by the fall. What do you think? Do you think tourists will be back by the fall?
I don't think the problem is tourism, as in Italy opening. I think the problem is the rest of the world. You are all about 3 weeks behind us. So I think the problem will be even if we open. And my main concern is not as much we open or we don't open. My concern is, okay, let's say in Italy we stop, we manage to stop the contagion, you know, the infection and everything. We just need somebody to come from another country that hasn't been so far as Italy, and it starts all over again.
I know.
So, yeah, so the problem is that I think all over the world we should be very strict, hanging in there as much as we can until we're 100% sure that we can cope again. My problem is that I don't really fancy going around Italy in the summer with gloves and a mask.
I know.
45 degrees in Venice in summer, you know.
It's very hot. It's very hot. But that, just to feel that sun on me, it feels really good right now. I don't know. I think it could open. I think it could open in a limited way, you know, by the fall. But who knows? Who knows?
I don't know. And I don't even want to think about it, because I think we're just going to have to think of other things first. How to handle the whole situation. That's not going to be easy. On a lighter note, come on, because otherwise...
Yes, let's do something lighter, yes.
What's your favorite Italian dish?
I had, well, you know, I have to tell you, the other night I had tortellini. Ooh, I've loved tortellini, you know, my whole life.
Yes. And how do you cook them? With a traditional broth or with different sauces?
No, you know, when I was making the tortellini, I was thinking about the broth, but I just had like, it was very sacrilege. You'll be very upset. I bought this, I'm from New Jersey, the state of New Jersey, and we were famous for our tomatoes called Jersey tomatoes. So I saw this sauce in the supermarket called Jersey tomato sauce. I'm like, oh, let me try that. It was actually very good. So it was a sacrilege. It's not Italian. But I usually this one I just did the tomato sauce, and I did, you know, my grandmother, remember how I said I was so close to her? She always had Romano cheese. So I always put Romano on it.
Okay.
But what else? You know, the other day I was thinking about cacio e pepe in Rome, that pasta. Yeah.
Was carbonara day the other day?
What else do I love?
The other day was carbonara. It was carbonara day.
Yeah, I was like, what meal would I have, you know, when this is done? Or like when I go out to dinner, or, yeah, I don't know. I bought some wine. I'm not a big drinker. Like, I only usually drink if I go out or if I'm in Italy, but I bought all Italian wine when this started. So I still have some bottles left. So not every night, but many nights I have a glass, usually white, of wine, just to make me think of Italy.
So you actually, of the 20 regions of Italy, you went to 18. Wow, you visited more than others. Whoa, even to the
the other ones I could have gotten to, I just haven't gotten to yet. So,
well, the other day I was talking to Julia from Villanova in Marche. We were talking about it, but Marche is supposed to have become the new Tuscany.
Yes.
Ronnie still hasn't, so that might be a great opportunity because she was telling me things about it, and I'm looking forward. I definitely, I said to everybody, when this is over, I've got a list of people I need to go and see. I need to make the money first, but then.
So God, I know. Right. No, La Marche has been on the list, and I really want to get back to Sicily too, and you know, I really want to go to the islands like Lampedusa or Pantelleria, or I don't know. Those are on my bucket list.
That will make a beautiful, amazing show, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So you showed me your ring, but you said you were gonna wear something else for.
You said.
Yes.
Well, this I wear anyway, but it's Italian, so I don't know if it's hard to see. So it's a.
Yeah, that's it. Now we can see it. Before. It's beautiful.
So I have three things. I can't really see while I'm doing this. Oh, so one is, this is the sunflower from Del Brenna in Cortona. And I'm going to figure out a way. Will you send me your address? I'm going to send you one. Because we're doing a promotion with Del Brenna in Cortona that anyone who joins gets this sunflower. So send me, we'll send it. It'll take a little while to get to you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So that I've been wearing. One that really means the most to me is this Capri bell.
Yes.
So this was my mom's, and this whole necklace was my mother's, and this is Santa Barbara. But the bell is like legendary in my family. So my grandparents, the ones I referred to, God, probably 55, 60 years ago, were on Capri and bought the bell for my mother. And the whole legend is St. Michael, I think, put these on his sheep so he could always make sure where they were. And if you wear the bell, you're never alone. You're protected by St. I think they sell them in multiple stores, but there's one particular jewelry store on Capri where they sell them. So my mom always wore her bell. And so she went to a bar in Manhattan and met my father one night. The first time she met my father, she was wearing this necklace. And they were both very funny. And she said she heard bells. Or she said he heard bells or something. I can't remember. And so my mother almost every day of her entire life after that wore this bell. I mean, there were times I saw her not wear it, but sometimes if she had to wear something else, she would take the necklace off and put it in her bra, keep the bell, because she said it was her good luck charm.
Wow.
So when so when she was actually in the hospital, she made me put the necklace on, and I've kept it on ever since. And I think, I feel like it protects me, and I'm actually finally going to write a little article about it for our next issue, because we're doing a special issue on Capri with Laura Thayer, who lives, Ciao Malfi. She's going to write most of it. And so I finally want to tell the story of this bell. And those are the things that, I wear those day.
Wow, that's such a beautiful story. I love it.
Yes. So, and I have some other jewelry from Italy, and that's the other thing. I think we need to live it up a little more. I'm like, I should wear my jewelry. What are we waiting for with all these things? I feel like, put the makeup on, wear the jewelry, just live.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's I keep saying, because obviously I got so many artisan friends and I want to show them all. The problem is I only got one neck and 2 ears.
No, I know. And I have other pieces, like I have a piece from Marissa, but I recently moved. All this stuff is in boxes. I have a piece from Marissa. My mom used to make jewelry with from beads from Italy, from Venice.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of pieces that she made that I've worn actually in the show, especially since she passed away. Each of the specials, I wear one of the, like when we did this cocktail party at Bramasole, I wore one of her glass necklaces, just so that she was like there with me. She would have loved a good party.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so no, there's so many beautiful things, and scarves, and that people are making.
How many artists, and not necessarily Italians, I mean, I'm talking about in the world general, and I think this is a time that we should really value them, just give them a voice, because like in Venice, for example, so many of them are closing down.
And anyone we can buy something from, with that little, everyone's got to cut back, but to buy something from, I'm trying, like, even with books, I love to get, I've actually gone back to starting to read real, like, actually I had Francis's book, but like real hardcover books.
Yes.
And to try to buy it from like a local bookstore, not buy it from Amazon, and try to help.
Like in Venice, they're doing a great job. All the small bookshops are delivering by hand. So
that's great.
Like the food, they do exactly the same thing. So you call in if you're in Venice. And Venetians are quite big readers anyway, because I see them, but they are actually selling.
Back. Oh my gosh.
Oh, internet these days.
No, it's not even the internet. It's this phone of mine. I think.
Oh, you're gone again.
Sad.
Is your phone?
Yeah, my phone.
Is it charged?
It was like charged 60%.
Oh.
It like wore that all down in our 40 minutes. So I'm back.
Okay, good. So it is okay. Now, so I was answering in the meantime. Somebody wanted to know if there were anybody making vegan food in Venice. Turns out that actually there is the best vegan crepes that you can ever eaten. It's opened 5 years ago and it's Cocaeta. When you come back, I got to take you there. Amazing. And now he's even managed to make them gluten-free. So and you would never know they're not crepes. Okay? Because they take... Oh
my God,
amazing.
Yeah,
so I was saying they deliver the books now. There is a company, Torrefazione Canareggio, that delivers the coffee if you want to. So actually, it turns out that Venice, out of this, it shows that there are still a lot of people living in the city, and we need small shops to open them. So that's very good. So, So, I was going to ask you, but then I got distracted by the vegan. And oh, yes, they asked me if you're going to go to Calabria soon.
Oh, I want to do an episode in Calabria.
That would be nice.
I've been through it a little bit, but I really want to go to the beach or Tropea. And then, Frances in her new book wrote about the Calabrian coast, and I've always wanted to just do the drive. I think Calabria is fascinating. I love the South. I mean, I love it all. I do love it.
So, what do people have to do to connect with you and to subscribe to Dream of Italy magazine? Sorry,
dreamofitaly.com, and everything is there. If you click on join, you can get 170 back issues. The Sunflower, which send me your address. I'll send you one. And for a limited time, the book, the Always Italy book by Frances. It's a hardcover, $35 book. So it's perfect for when you're stuck at home. And we just got another shipment in to send. And then you get 170, this is my life's work, all these issues. You can see the TV show there, listen to the podcast. The podcast will be coming back. And then I'll announce probably tomorrow, I'm going to work on it today. We're going to do this whole crowdsourced issue, maybe make it a regular feature. Because what this is all about, is I've always wanted to add more community to what we do and the podcast. And so people can talk about what they're dreaming of and where they're dreaming of. And certainly I say a lot of our readers and viewers know even more than I do about Italy. Like they just know so much. So it's a good time to share that.
Yeah, it was actually, when you asked me to write the piece for you, it was actually...
If you come to the blog on Dream of Italy, you can read Monica's piece about...
And all the other...
Yeah, I've had like 3 or 4 people write from Italy what their experience is, and they've all been really different, which I love.
I know, that's why I liked it, because I thought, when you asked me to write it at first, I thought, I'm going to write about the point. But I thought, no, why? No, that's already said my negative part about that. I don't need to.
Yeah.
So I thought that I took, and it felt good to write, because at the moment I'm doing so many other things. And I'm not writing, I'm a blogger and I'm not writing. That's the most important thing. It's so funny because I'm finding like you said, that you don't want to do anything at the moment. I'm doing a lot of things, but I find it impossible to write. I've kind of got
focus. It's hard to focus right now. There's different things that are easier to do, and that's what I mean. I'm like, it's not that I even have low energy. I just get like okay, I need to do this and do this because we're not in our regular routines, right? So I think, but it's funny. I've been reading, you know, I'm on Twitter and stuff, and articles about all the things you could be doing, like your sourdough bread and your like baking and whatever. But then I've been reading a few articles that are like, it's okay if you're not doing anything. It's really okay. So I'm
you know what? Yeah, I think a lot of those articles are written for people that are not used to work many hours on the PC and to work a lot sitting
down. Home for 17 years mostly. So
you
I'm
know.
used to it. Yeah.
You know that, you know, people like us, you get up in the morning, you know you have to stick to a routine, you have to give yourself tasks, because it's so easy when you're at home just to get, oh, look, I need to do that. And then you start doing something.
I'm like my terrier. I get distracted. You know.
I actually follow a rule that a friend of ours years ago, Michelle, I can't remember her surname, she actually said, use a time. And I do. I have a little time. For every task, I put a timer.
I should really try that. I should try that. And, you know, I make this list. Not everything is done on it, this list I have. But, you know, oh, gosh. So FedEx has arrived. And that's my dog's arch enemy. So you'll just hear him bark. Anything in the mailman, yes, DHL. So it's going to be mayhem.
Do you have to go and ask? You have to go and ask? Is it a delivery for you?
Oh no! Oh no! It's like next door. But I'm just saying, it'll sound like someone's being murdered, possibly.
Mine does it. It's typical. My dog does exactly the same with the neighbors. We've been living here 20 years. He passes 4 times a day. She knows him very well. Every time he passes through the door, wah, 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 wah.
I'm amazed he's actually totally quiet. Oh wait, but he's shaking. He's like shaking. There we go. Yeah. I know.
How old is your dog?
Something for me. Who knows?
How old is your dog?
What?
How old is he? The dog.
Oh, how old is he? He's 11, going on 2. Yeah, he's got a lot of energy. He's very passionate. And you know, in Venice, I saw 2 fox terriers. You know,
I remember the pictures. Yes, and you know,
I was working with this director, John, and before we went to film, I literally said to him, you know, if we see a fox terrier, we're going to stop. It was sort of a joke. Well, and we were running late for something. He was not happy. And I was like, we're stopping. So we had a cute Lizzie, the wire fox terrier. She's on Instagram. Lizzie and another one. And then just in Florence, when we were filming in October, I saw one. They're very rare, but it's always fun.
Yeah, it's really funny because I was watching yesterday a video about how to do the lives, and it says make sure that when you do a live you don't have dogs and children. And I got my dog here, you got your dog there.
I believe it. It adds some natural color, though. You know, this is real life.
Exactly. And anyway, there might be a killer and he's living your life.
I know. No, he's not. It's so funny. He's not letting too much go by here. So I'm lucky to have him to hang out with. And I've really enjoyed talking to you. You do such a great job.
Thanks. Thank you so much. I was so honored to have you, and I hope to see you in Venice soon.
I hope to see you as soon as we can. Take care.
Whatever is holiday or filming or whatever, and anything about Venice, I'm here for you.
I know. Okay.
Keep safe. A big hug to your dog and stay safe, and we can't wait to see you.
Okay.
Ciao, ciao. Thanks.
Bye. Bye.